Alright, what's up? Hoosier Brew here. And I am in the winter wonderland in the spring of Galena, Illinois. This is a town I wanted to visit for a long time. It was a big town. Back in the 1860s, they had like a population of 10,000. And there's a president who lives here. But yeah, in this video I'm going to be exploring Galena. I'm going to start off with a prehistory at Horseshoe Mound. So up here on top they have these stones placed. The natives built their mounds because they kind of understood solar patterns. So, kind of in a way like Stonehenge. I guess these stones are to see like how they built it in relation to the sun patterns. Or this is just an amphitheater and I'm being stupid. This is where the summer solstice sunset would be. So, when I got here, the guy was here closing the gate, but then he went up, checked the road, and he let me in. So I am actually getting special access to see the mound today. I'm the only person. Check out this view. You can actually see 3 states from here: Wisconsin, Illinois, which I'm in, and Iowa over there. So somewhere back in there, I think where all that smoke is Dubuque, Iowa, and the Mississippi. It's literally like 20 degrees and there's wind and I am so freaking cold and I am dying. This is the home of the 18th president, Ulysses S. Grant. I have a separate video on the house here, so go check that out when you're done with this one. Yeah, this is the 1836 Croson House. And that is the old general store. Here's a historical marker on the town. And this is one of the oldest homes here, an old log cabin. This is the 1851 log cabin of John and Mary Long. And it was moved here. I guess this giant old mansion is going to be the new Galena and U.S. Grant Museum sometime. Wish that was open, that'd be so cool to see. This is the home of Representative Elihu, I don't know how to pronounce that name, Benjamin Washburn. The home is a state historic site, but it has extremely limited hours. It's not even open at this time of year. He was also Secretary of State, I forgot that, and Minister to France. He was a radical Republican and was a leader in the House of Representatives, and he was a good friend of Abraham Lincoln and local Ulysses S. Grant. Trying to do some creepy window peeking. I think that's the parlor in there. So this is the Belvedere Mansion. Now it is open sometimes as a museum. It's not right now. But I was going to go to it anyways because they don't allow photography, which is super dumb. It's also pretty expensive for what it is, and based on reviews it's pretty low. But I do know they have a lot of antiques in there, and they have some curtains from Gone with the Wind being the main attraction. This is like an Italianate villa style. That's so cool. So Grant probably arrived here several times, and thousands of people over the years at the Galena Railroad Depot. The town was built here along the Galena River. And we were actually in like the northwest corner of the state of Illinois. probably why it's so freaking cold. So I'm on the trail on the Galena River. This bridge is really cool. Here's a big piece of artillery. I assume this is from World War I. They're aiming the cannon at Galena. What if someone makes this thing go off? This is actually really cool. The Americans captured this from the Spanish cruiser Vizcaya during the Battle of Santiago Bay. Oh, that's so cool. And here he is, Galena's most famous citizen, Ulysses S. Grant. This park is actually named after Grant, making this Grant Park. Grant Park has another amazing cannon. This was in Charleston Harbor on April 12th, 1865, and it shot at Fort Sumter. It was taken over by the Confederates, and now they have it here as a war trophy. And this is the County Civil War Memorial. This is a pedestrian bridge going over the Galena River. Way down there, that is the blacksmith shop. During the summer they do operate it. You can go inside, watch the blacksmiths, but it's not open right now. This is Commerce Street, the street closest to the Galena River. And that building up there was the old high school. Finally figured out what that building was. The old market house here did function as a market back in the day, and it is now the old Market House State Historic Site and the Galena Welcome Center. I have a separate video on this because they have one of the largest collections of Grant artifacts inside, so go watch that when you're done too. That's a cool old building, the Gray Iron Foundry. And this is where Main Street splits off with Diagonal Street. And that is the oldest house in Galena, that stone house, the Dowling House. They do give tours of this house, but it's owned by the same company as Belvedere Mansion, so they don't allow photography. Supposedly it's really rushed, has a low rating, so I'm going to skip that, which is something I rarely do. Oh, they must call that the Flatiron Building, because it's kind of a diagonal in the road. Alright, this is it. Beautiful downtown Galena, Illinois, with all the old 19th century buildings lining Main Street. I'm in this old-timey candy shop. This town is seriously so cool. I love these old towns preserved like this. Just stuck in time. Alright, this is the DeSoto House Hotel. And Abraham Lincoln gave a speech right there on that balcony in 1856 supporting John C. Fremont in the presidential election, which he didn't win. Lincoln went on to be the first Republican president 4 years later. Now I'm up on the hill at Bench Street, the church. That's a cool house. Man. have the fire department building. This is the 1838 Presbyterian Church. This house is actually very long, not a lot of street space, but it goes way back there. That's the 1874 Eagles Club. Look at all the space they cut out of that hill. Probably blew that up with dynamite. And this is the 1856 First Methodist Church. So, it's not open, unfortunately, but you can sit in Grant's pew. That is awesome. Right next to it is the 1851 firehouse with probably the original bell up there. And they have a restored old fire engine inside there. Alright, I am embracing my inner Rocky Balboa and I'm climbing all the stairs to the top. This was at the top of the hill. Even more super fancy houses. Alright, this is actually a really cool view from up here. So there is Grant's house, and this is how far he had to walk to ride his carriage to church. Huh, this is the back side of the buildings on Main Street. That's interesting. So this is St. Michael's Catholic Church. This building was rebuilt after a fire of the original one in the 1840s. This is inside St. Michael's Church. So one thing Catholics use are relics of saints. I'm not sure what these are supposed to be of, but they might be pieces of the cross, since they look like tiny wood specks. What's interesting, most Catholic churches have columns, but instead they use wooden trusses in this one. That's the Methodist Church, Grant's Church. So we got a local folk artist here. He has a scrap metal bat, a dinosaur, a totem pole, and a tin man. This is even higher up, because I am on High Street now. The houses are just built farther and farther up the hill. And these roads got way steeper. This was the first home of Ulysses S. Grant here in Galena. Grant lived here about a year before he left for the Civil War. And it was in this house that he was living in when he did leave to enlist back in the Army for the Civil War and continue to totally change history. Unfortunately, it is not a museum. Well, anyways, thanks for watching. Galena is an amazing little town. I wish it wasn't so cold though. I always imagine myself being here in like summer or something, but whatever. It's still cool, so I hope you enjoyed. Go watch my other Galena videos and go watch all my other videos while you're at it. Thanks for watching.